Hey everybody, welcome to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're pretty excited as we close in on 20,000 subscribers. We hope you've all hit that button. If you haven't, please do, and you can get Bill's content. I'm Mike Catalano with you. This will just be a couple of minutes. Wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on with Von Miller. You're hearing a lot, and Sean McDermott just talked this afternoon. So to give you an idea of what's going on, we were at the game in Detroit. Everybody saw Von go down. He stayed on the field for a while, limped off, and then was taken in to be checked. Now, the latest reports from several sources in the national media are that the initial diagnosis is that Von does not have a tear of the ACL, which is, at least at the moment, a relief. I mean, they're still going to be evaluating, and they'll evaluating more within the next week to 10 days. That's the initial report. And so that would be a positive, because then it would be a simple and though painful decision for him and the Bills. He'd have surgery. He'd be done for the season. It does not appear to be the case right now. There are other reports that maybe it's a lateral meniscus tear. Maybe it's just, well, that would be, no doctor. I'm not trying to pretend to, but what you see is what would be considered a sprain. The initial report is sprain, and that's a slight tear. So if that's the case, they're saying that they're going to evaluate him within a week to 10 days and see what's there. Sean McDermott already said he's not playing in Foxborough on Thursday. I think we could have assumed that coming in. Look, the way I look at it is, if Von Miller is back for the playoffs, the Bills and the fans should be happy, because that's what you need. He's injured. He's going to be out for a little while. If he comes back sooner, fantastic. But I think in large part, they want to get the guy ready and get him for what they need, which is the playoff run. He's a vital player, and in those big moments, that's when you want him, right? Sure, you want him against the Miami Dolphins when they come in. That game could decide the division. That game could decide home field advantage in the playoffs, for all we know. But we don't know. We don't know if he'll be able to play by then. But when he went down and then got carted off, and I will say this, it's a long way from that field to where they go in Detroit. We were there twice this past week. So part of it is they use the cart, just makes sense. But also they knew he was hurt. And when they do the initial checks, they know it's the knee. And he must have had some semblance of pain. And he goes in. So they take him on the cart. When you see that, there's always the concern. So Von had surgery on that knee. I think it was in 2013 when he tore the ACL, so it's happened to him before. Obviously, he's much farther along in his career now, but he knows what he's here for. He's here for the playoffs. He's here for the big moments, the big games, and he's been a really good closer for this team. They miss him when he's not on the field. So, look, he's not there next week. I don't think he's going to be there for a few weeks, and like I said, I think the hope would be that Von would be ready for the playoffs. Now, we'll see when Greg Rousseau is back. That's a guy they've missed on the other side. You're playing without those two pass rushers, the 1 and 2 guys. Other guys have to step up. I mean, I think Jordan Phillips is a guy who's going to get more snaps, be on the field more. I know he wasn't feeling well this past 2 games. He told us he had the flu leading into that Browns game, had a deflected pass in the last game. I just think he can be an impactful player. We've seen Shaq Lawson make some plays. He had a nice play behind the line of scrimmage against Cleveland to stop a 4th down play. He had another one in this game. You're going to need more out of Boogie Basham. You're going to need A.J. Epenesa healthy. Look, it's going to be all hands on deck. I don't think there's any one guy replacing Von Miller. We know that. You're going to need more out of those guys. And it's amazing this year. I was just going through the list of players who've missed multiple games on this team's defense this year. So you've got, well, obviously Tre'Davious White. You've got, obviously, Micah Hyde. Then you've got Jordan Phillips, Ed Oliver, Jordan Poyer, Tim Settle, Greg Rousseau, Tremaine Edmonds, Matt Milano, Kaiir Elam, Christian Benford. That's not something this team has gone through with all these injuries. But they get guys back, when you look towards the end of the year. If Von is able to come back at a decent time and able to come back for the playoffs, then you've got him. We saw Tre'Davious White on the field. Be a huge thing for them. It was something I'd never seen before. They basically used it like a preseason game. They had him on a pitch count. You do not see teams do that in a regular season important game where you know the players are only going to take a certain number of snaps. There's only a certain number of guys you can dress for a game, but they thought it was that important a year after the injury to get him on the field, and he did. Came away fine. So the thought would be he'll be ready to go. Maybe more snaps, certainly, when they get to New England next week. And you think about the passing offenses they're going to see. Though Mac Jones and company looked a lot better against Minnesota, they have not been a great passing offense. You have the Jets the next week. We'll see who they see in that one, whether it's Mike White again, whether they go back to Wilson, whether it's Flacco. I guess we'll see because they have the Jets a couple of times, or one time, the Patriots twice. You got that Miami game sitting out there. And we all know what that is with that passing offense. So pass defenders, pass rushers are going to be so important. If Vaughn is back, great. But it's good, too, to have the guys on the back end. Keep Poyer on the field, get Trey White out there, get Benford healthy, get Elam 100%, and get Rousseau back on the field, all of those guys. Get Edmonds back on the field. He is missed. That was not a good tackling effort in the game against Detroit. They need better tackling. Somebody's got to help Milano there on the inside. So that's something they're going to be looking for. So you had to deal with injuries all year. And it started out with that big one with Micah Hyde and not having Trey White. You knew that coming in. But boy, it's just compounded one after the other after the other. We know what Josh Allen did. He and Diggs saved the day. They got the win. That's great. Get the players back. Help with that defense. Because sometimes I hear people say, why is this defense not what we've expected? Because they haven't had their guys on the field. Doesn't mean everybody has played up to their potential. They have not had their top players on the field. If you look who was missing in these games against Cleveland and Detroit, that's a lot of talent not on the field. They'll get some of them back, hopefully for the New England game coming up next week. So plenty of content on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. We'll have plenty of content on the New England Patriots coming into that game. Again, they showed some life on offense. You know the defense has been good. Not a great game against Minnesota, but they've been good. The last time, 2 times, Josh Allen faced the Patriots, they didn't punt. Bills' offense hasn't been playing that way this year. So let's see what happens. But obviously that is a huge game, division game. Bills need a division win in the worst way coming up on Thursday. Plenty of time to talk Patriots. Wanted to give you a little update. Let's see what happens with Von Miller. Right now he's out for the Patriots game. He'll be evaluated, and then they see where they go from there. It's going to do it for me today. I'm actually off to do the Rochester Americans game tonight with the broadcasting legend, Don Stevens. I get to do a little game with him tonight. Covered the Amerks for a long time. I know the Sabres are playing also on this Friday night, but that should be a lot of fun. So talk a little hockey tonight, and we'll have plenty of coverage this weekend, and we'll be heading out to Foxborough coming up for next week. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for our team. Jenna Cottrell, Dan Fates. I'm Mike Catalana. Thanks for watching here again on Buffalo Plus.